because sourcing is as important as selling. They say that you make your money when you buy. Well, is this a way for you to buy? That's the question. Are online auctions suitable for your niche? Now, if you like selling big appliances or tools, you're going to have to pick the auctions where you can get to them in person. But if you like selling smalls like I do, online auctions could be a solution, especially if you don't live in a big area where they have lots of auctions. Monday, I've got to drive down to a commercial auction and do a pickup. I'll bring my camera along and show you that. But as an alternative, when the auction house is further away, having lots mailed can be good if you play your cards right. And we're going to do a mail call, the mail buoy. I've got some packages that have come in from auctions, and I want to compare the three auction houses and their fees and the way they do their mail outs. It's being able to play in an auction, buy just a couple of lots, and have them shipped is one of the ways I source, and it comes to me in the mail. It saves me the time and the fuel to drive around towards the city to pick up just a couple little items. If I had to pick them up, I wouldn't actually play in those auctions, because often those auctions only have a couple of lots I'm interested in as the prices climb and the lots go out of what I consider the profit margin for a reseller. I'm Brian, Cabin Fever Reselling. We're at the lake, and we're going to take care of some of these packages. Now, these are the three we're going to open up today. I can tell at a glance that all three of these, well, perhaps not this one, but definitely the larger two, are recycled boxes. So that is one of the ways that the auction houses can keep down their shipping costs, if they want to. Now, this first one came from a new auction. First time I tried these guys. We're going to talk about what's in them. No great mystery in two of them. A single lot, a pair. But that third box, the one that's going to have all the little Masonic pins and the coffee cups, now that one has some interest. And during the auction that produced these, I recorded most of it. And in between bidding, because there's always some dead time, I talk about what made me pull the trigger, the research, the comparisons, the comps, the shipping, the terms of the auction. So if you like that kind of a video, at the end of this video, it'll pop up as the next choice. And you'll see how I source the items. Because sourcing is as important as selling. But I went out to these guys and I said, well, you've got the standard note that says that you use Auction Ninja, and Auction Ninja only ships in priority flat rate boxes, which of course is a terrible way to advertise your auction. And whenever I see a note like that, but I see a lot that I'm interested in buying anyway, I go out to them and say, well, I'd bid on some of your lots, but that shipping policy just doesn't work for me. Is it what you really do, or will you ship ground advantage, since we're really only about 60 miles apart? And in this case, he said, yes, we'll use whichever method is the cheapest. And in fact, Rose tells me that he charged me less than $11 to package this item up and ship it. And this, you can see, is a pretty good size box. Now this next one is an auction house that I've used regularly. This is the Plain Jane. And Plain Jane, she's always shipped my boxes, and she chips them out the same way. Whatever is the best advantageous program for her customers. And in this case, it's ground advantage. And you can see this is not a very big package. So if I'd had to pay, say, a medium flat rate at $14 or so, it would have been prohibited to play in this auction. Now this one is a little bit larger, and it's heavy. And it comes from the auction house. You can see it right here, Blue Nest. And I was telling the manager the other day, because right after I bought this, the next week I was over doing a pickup in their office. And I told her, I said, you know, I don't know if you have a chance to check out your competition, but I often buy from other competing auction houses. And you have the most expensive shipping and packing policies in the area. That means that I rarely avail myself. I almost always play in this auction company's lots when I know I'm able to pick it up. And I did some footage of that as well this week. But this is all one large lot. Oh, and I got stickers and decals, huh? So part of my money, it cost me about 3 times as much to have this box shipped as it did this box. And that's what I'm saying. They've got the most expensive rates in our area for providing the service to ship out packages. It's basically because they don't want to do it. All right, so we'll set these aside here. We'll take a look. They did include an invoice, and you can see it is one lot. And it cost me more for shipping than it did for the lot. And that happens often when you buy small lots, online auctions, and have them shipped, depending on the service. Little brown crumple paper, I'll reuse the box, and we'll take a look through here. In fact, this one I will probably have to have Rose look through, because I actually ordered this because of a comment she made a few weeks ago. She told me that she was running out of greeting cards and birthday cards. So I figure I would buy this one and then split it between the business and personal, prorate the cost accordingly, and pay the taxes on my operating, on my Washington State business license when the time comes. But yeah, we'll let her pull a few items and then I'll see how much she takes out. All right, that's what that one is. Hundreds and hundreds of cards. All right, a little more crumple paper. Make sure I got all the parts and pieces out of there. This was the lot that caught my attention and the reason I bid in the auction. It's got some bolo ties with fraternal and Masonic organizational symbols. It's got some tie clips with the Masonic swords. It's got a lot of these little lapel pins, and I sell these. Sometimes I sell them individually, sometimes I group them up. It all depends on what they are and what their individual value is. This one's a pinback metal. Sometimes the backs will give me a clue as to their age or what kind of metal they're made out of. Sometimes they don't. This one's from Victoria, probably Victoria, Canada. Here's some major or lieutenant commander military. But what I'll do, that's Masonic as well. You can tell by the compass and the square. But I'll go through these, and an item like this, as long as all the stones are there and the clasp works, that'll be listed individually. This one will be listed individually. This one, it appears I have 2 of them. We'll see whether they differ or whether they're identical. If they're identical, they'll go up as a multi-quantity single listing. Now some items, like this one, if it doesn't have enough individual value, it'll go in as part of a group. I can't tell if that's a turban wearing Arab, or a sailor. He's definitely got the beard for a sailor, but we'll see what we can find in the back on the way of markings. But I enjoy listing lots like this. And this probably belonged to somebody named Leslie. And then what I'll do at some point is I'll just put some lesser value items back in there, and I'll use the container to sell a lot. Okay, so the next lot, there's a group of cups and shot glasses. This is the one I actually wanted. British Columbia Coast Pilot Limited. And then here's 3 from TWA. And I do like to list and sell vintage airline paraphernalia. These don't have much value. They'll go into some bar lot. I'll get rid of these, bulking them out to a local auction next time I put together a group of either bar tools or shot glasses or something similar. Now look at this one. A ribbon and sash. Yeah. So there's an interesting lot. Okay, and here is the third box. Looks like 2 envelopes. Wind up robot. And this one should be a little woodpecker door knocker. As you can see here, it's just a couple of lots. And if I had had to drive around north of Seattle, which would have taken me about 3 hours each way, I would have never ordered these. But this one's a wind up. Let's have a look. Let's see what he does if I wind him up. He's not the most stable of things, but it looks like the feet could use a little straightening. Now for a toy like this, it's important to have the key. And what we'll do with this guy is we'll actually make a little video to add to the eBay listing. And we'll show that he winds up and he walks. Now this one, I've never seen one quite like this. He's a spring-loaded woodpecker knocker. So as you rotate it, he thumps on the tree. In fact, we get some woodpeckers like this locally. He looks like a pileated woodpecker, and we have them around. And every once in a while, we'll hear them on our trees. Well, that's 3 auction lots, or 3 boxes from 3 different auctions that came in. But I do like having this as an option. It doesn't always work out. For instance, that heavy box of cards. Sadly, I would have never bought it if I'd have known it was the only auction lot I was going to win. Because the cost to have it shipped, and I knew it ahead of time, but the cost to have it shipped from that company, I think is a little excessive. And have told them so. So normally for that company, I buy more lots and I plan to drive around. But in this case, the auction was off on an island a good hour and a half away, and it was a single lot that I ended up with. So the numbers still made more sense to have them mail me that one in that situation. But it happens sometimes with online auctions. The lot you really want is further down in, and you've either got to pass the early lots till you know you've found something that you really want and can make money at, or you take your chance thinking somewhere along the way, as the auction progresses, you'll get enough lots to make driving around worthwhile. It didn't work out that time. Generally it does. Because with the other auction houses, their handling and their postage fees are very reasonable. When I come across one that just is not, and they say, no, we're going to stick to that rule, priority flat rate only, I just simply don't play in their auctions, and tell them so, and tell them why. Because eventually, if enough people tell them that they're using USPS flat rate boxes makes buying and bidding prohibited, maybe they'll change over time. Because that means that if you buy one small thing like this, you're going to pay that flat rate medium price fee plus whatever handling they stick on top. Because a lot of these online auctions, all the terms actually say is, if you're going to bid planning to have us ship, you're on the hook for the fees. And they're not even clear, and they won't give you an estimate ahead of time. So you almost, like I did with Oscar, you almost have to take it on faith that they'll treat you reasonably well, try it out, let them confirm that that's true, and then you've got a relationship starting and you can bid with confidence in their future auctions. And when I get a chance, I'll send him a note that said, very pleased with your packing, very pleased with your fee, thank you. You'll be seeing my name appear on your future auctions. Because that's the kind of relationship those auction houses should be striving for. Repeat business, repeat customers. Which is what, if you're running an eBay store, or you're running an Etsy store, or something similar, whatnot, you also want to develop repeat business. You want those people coming back to you because you gave them good money and good service for value spent. I'm Brian, I'm at the lake, I'm going to take this stuff in and probably do some editing because it looks like rain today. And I know it'll be raining the next couple of days. So we'll get the chores done that we started this morning, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Enjoy your day. Earlier this morning, Rose and I were working on a project. You can hear my neighbor. He's banging away on his because, like me, he's trying to wrap up a few things before the end of summer. The project we were doing this morning, Rosie went under the crawl space to feed my LAN cable, my blue Cat 5 wire, up in where the cable company has routed their wire. And we're going to go ahead and try and get that garage hooked up in the next few weeks, so we'll be able to do a better job of listing and updating an inventory out in our workshop. But the start of that was to feed that wire. I had buried that wire back when we built that garage and just left a spool in the crawl space. So there's Rosie. She's out of the crawl space and she's into fall. She's putting up Halloween decorations and scarecrows. But let's get back to these items and talk about these 3 boxes I've got laid out in front of me.